So recently I walked into K-mart with one of these. And then I exited K-mart with one of these. A $5 calligraphy set, which includes one dip pen, 3 pointed nibs, and 1 black bottle of 7ml ink. Also comes with a metal tin. It all seems too good to be true, doesn't it? Yes, well it might be. The first thing I noticed is that this little hanger hole here isn't centred on the package. At first I thought that was a sign of it being cheaply and poorly made, because the hole is punched where the centre of gravity is, not where the centre of the package is. Why am I mentioning this? I have no idea. Might cut that out, you know. Cut it out of the video, like I'm going to cut this package open. So let's open up this, the cheapest dip pen money can barely buy. Oh, look at this. Doesn't it look amazing? I wonder what it feels like. It feels like a piece of plastic, basically. Hard plastic. And it's not particularly ergonomic either. It's just, it's good enough, basically, but it's not. Seems to be weighted more on one side than the other, so it doesn't roll off the table. Now, let's have a look at this little bottle of ink. This little bottle of ink actually seems to be in a little glass container, I think. It's got a little metal lid on top of it. It says on the bottle suitable for fountain pens and dip pens. So most likely then it is a dye-based ink. Oh, does it come with little instruction manuals as well? What's in here? Oh look, the alphabet, but in calligraphy. That is a good idea, actually. Good thing to include for like a beginner package. Because someone who has bought something for $5 probably has never done it before. And that's me. I don't really do calligraphy at all. Just looks like a dip pen, I don't know. Can I just draw with it instead? You can see the nib here, it actually does have a bit of a flatness to it on the end. It doesn't come down to a circular point. So it does look like a calligraphy nib. Same with this one here. Comes down to a pretty kind of elongated tip. Why are these so hard to get out of the package? Please come out. Come on. This 0031 though doesn't come down to an elongated tip. It just, in fact, it doesn't really come down to much of a tip at all. The tines just kind of end there and there's nothing after it. As in there's no little spherical ball like you would see on the end of a fountain pen. Is there anything under this plastic packaging? No. That is actually a pretty nice little tin. It's got no brand names or anything on it. Maybe line it with a bit of foam and then pack some pens in there and stuff. That'll be fun. Once again, K-mart, they sell fantastic little tins and boxes that come with free little knickknacks inside, you know? Let's scribble in a sketchbook. See what we can make with this dip pen, yeah? Ugh. Let's try every single nib. So first I will try the 005 nib. So that just inserts in there, does it? Well, it doesn't fit in there very tightly, I must say. It feels like it could just fall out at any given moment. Okay, well, tiny bottle of ink. Oh, it's so cute, this little bottle of ink. It's just seals upon seals with this ink. What a great little bottle. This bottle comes with a little rubber stopper in it. That's great. That would never ever dry out. Okay, let's dip it in. Well, it's a dip pen. I dipped it in. Let's see if I can copy some of these letters. How about this A? That looks absolutely nothing like an A. Okay, let's try the lowercase a, shall we? Well, I can't deny this pen actually works. So that's a good sign. Oh, I'm already out of ink. Okay, let's dip it again. I'm doing a B this time, just in case no one knows what I've done. Well, this dip pen, it runs out of ink very, very quickly. I get probably 2 letters out of it. I don't know. 2 letters per dip. Maybe I'm just pressing too hard, or maybe there's just really thick lines. Takes ages to dry as well. That A isn't even dry. I drew that ages ago. Each line it produces actually is very thick, and it's very generous with the ink. Like it's just depositing a mountain of ink. Just this mound of ink. Are you serious? Is that what an F is meant to look like? That thing? Clearly the key of calligraphy is not legibility. That's not the purpose of it. No. That's what an F looks like, I guess. Oh, I've done a very bad job. Anyway, let's try the next nib. So this nib here is the 002 nib. I have no idea what those numbers mean. Oh, now that nib actually fits in there quite firmly. Okay, let's do a G. And a lowercase g. How about a H? It's got a scratchier nib, this 002 I think it was. I have a short-term memory of a concrete elephant. I can't even remember what nib I put in there. Okay, I completely ruined that one. That's not what a... That is meant to be an I. No. See. That. Who knows what that is, really? Could be anything. Now it's time for the J. And according to this chart, a J is meant to look like this. I mean, if you just saw this in isolation and you said, what letter is this? What is it, huh? You would have no idea. Go, well, it could be an L. It could be an I, maybe. No, it's not an L. It does go that way a bit. L, I, J, Could also be a D, which is far too fancy for its own good. Could also be a G, believe it or not, because look. G. See? Can you see the G there now? Could be anything. You know what I think, and it's a controversial opinion, I think Comic Sans is a superior font. Nope. Yeah, it's a pretty scratchy feeling nib. If I draw that gently, it's not so bad. And it produces a rather thin line as well. Let's try the final nib. Dippity dippity. You know, I don't really like this nib either. It does work. I'd prefer to... don't know. I can't form an opinion. Can't do it. Okay, the only way I can form a proper opinion is to do some drawing. But now the next question is, what kind of ink is this? Is this a dye-based ink or a pigment ink? Some water on a dry bit of ink here, see what it does. Oh, wow, that really dissolves very quickly. So it's clearly a dye-based ink. Great tin too. Okay, it's drawing time. Right, let's see what this pen can do. Oh, yeah. So I did some scribbling with this dip pen to try and get the hang of it, you know. And then I just started doing a sketch with the medium nib, I believe, because I found the really, really fine nib simply to be a bit too scratchy on the sketchbook paper that I was using, even though this sketchbook paper isn't even particularly rough in any way. It has a vague amount of texture to it, but the medium nib seemed to be perfectly acceptable. And the really big nib was simply far too inky, and it wasn't capable of holding enough ink to use the thing for more than a couple of lines, so I gave up on the big one. Yeah. Now, anyway, to be honest, the only other dip pen I've ever used for any length of time would have to be one I've made myself out of bamboo. And as far as the smooth writing or drawing experience, I think the bamboo was actually not so bad. It's actually pretty good. Which doesn't say a lot for this dip pen, when a stick can hold its weight against it. It certainly does not have the smoothness of a fountain pen. But, you know, what do you expect for $5? You know, it's probably not a good idea to actually buy something this cheap as an introductory product. Because when you introduce yourself to a new concept, you want to make sure that if you do grow to hate it, you must hate it for the reason of the concept and not because it's a poorly made product, you know. And this dip pen set is like basically as cheap as they come, so I don't know if it's even worth $5 if it's going to teach me to hate a concept which may be perfectly acceptable just because it's cheap and nasty. Although it does come with a rather nice metal pencil tin and a cute little glass bottle with a rubber seal in it, so it's not a total waste. Anyway, despite how cheaply this thing was made, I actually did derive some pleasure from drawing with this, so it was pretty good. The nib managed to hold just enough ink so I didn't have to go dipping every 5 seconds. And the handle of this pen also comes with that standard dip pen holding nib thingamajiggy, so it's a cheap way to buy one of those. You can use that little handle as a base for a custom dip pen holding thing, you know? Yes. The possibilities. I never managed to use this dip pen without getting ink on my fingers, you know? Anyway. So there you go, the cheapest dip pen money can buy. Now make sure you tune in for the next episode where I'll be trying out a dip pen which is a little bit more fancy. Yes, oh, this is going to be exciting. Okay, that'll do, whatever.